Hello, everybody. This is Rock Antenne. This is Thomas. That's Justin.
Sorry, it's like Coke from the machine. It was just
Frankie from the darkness. Welcome to our little single prison cell here. I'm happy that we all fit in here, and you guys feel comfy. It's good. I'm glad you guys are back. We just talked before that.
when you clap. That's fun.
Yeah.
Clap control. Years of training.
Yeah, well done. Very well done.
Thanks.
You know, as I said before, we've met before. It's been ages ago, and finally, after 12 years,
13 years,
13 years, you're back, and in a whole, as a general, you guys seem to be back on track with everything you do. Hotcakes came out, and then Last of Our Kind. And it seems to go. A pattern is established again. Is it true?
Well, we're definitely on track now. I'm not so sure in the Hotcakes campaign. We'd been out of the game for a few years.
Yeah.
So we came back and we had problems in that campaign. I would say with Last of Our Kind, we're back. The making of the album, there was lots of upheaval, but in the process of the album and the touring which came afterwards has been, for us, the best ever experience of touring with Rufus Taylor on drums. Yeah, it's just a completely different situation. It's just fantastic. We're having the best time ever live, and we've freshened up the wardrobe, the light show. So we've really developed and come back properly this time.
I didn't think that Hotcakes was in any way bad. It was.
Oh, no, it's not saying that it's bad. No. I think it's more just. It was sort of like just a bit awkward. It's like when you it's a marriage, isn't it? And then we had a trial separation. Yeah. And then when we got back together, there was some sort of tension in the bedroom, and now it's all systems go again. It takes a while to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Rufus, and I gotta ask you. I don't know if you can talk about this or not, because last time I asked a musician about an ex-musician, he couldn't just simply say anything because his lawyer would say you can't. And what about Emily? How did this happen with Emily and this?
I'm sorry, without a lawyer present, we can't discuss that.
I knew you would say it, but it's
so obvious. Hey, it's all part of the journey. At the end of the day, it's personalities. And
she did a brilliant job on the record.
Fantastic. You can feel her energy on the album. It's warm, lovely, warm, full drum sound. Yeah, and it worked for a lot
great
of songs.
Great performances as well. Yeah. She didn't use a click.
Mm-hmm.
She was she really stepped up and did a great job. But the thing is, when it came to sort of touring, her sort of expectations are slightly different to ours. And we weren't compatible. But haven't spoken to her since she left, but I wish her all the best, really. I mean, it worked out well because Rufus has completely rejuvenated the whole thing, and obviously his experiences of growing up, he knows what to expect. There's no surprises when he walks into a rock and roll machine like The Darkness, because he was brought up in that way. So. Yeah. I just think he's much more compatible with us,
Well, didn't he come in and say, well, that looks kind of rather small, all of this, whole process? Because I saw him with Queen, like in February last year, and so, that's cool.
Yeah. No, he gets nervous like everybody else, he's... I suppose I was talking more about the sort of the overall experience of touring, not just the playing element, There's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. But it's all worthwhile because of the excitement of performing.
How did you find Rufus? How did Did you know him before?
No, we only met him on the day he played his first gig with us.
Just through mutual friends and connections we had, I think it was Brian May's guitar tech, in fact, who got in touch with Dan and mentioned him. I mean, it's meant to be, for sure. It just feels like he just takes every possible box, that we have, and the youth.
That's not a euphemism, by the way.
Okay. It's all the things we need, youth, vitality, great sense of humour.
Really great drummer.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy.
You're going to be on stage tonight in Munich. What can we expect from the new rejuvenated darkness?
Sorry.
A lot of fun.
It's from the machine. It's really really gassy.
It's a German Coke.
Ich mit gas.
If you can't handle it, it's like...
It's got lots of cipher blurtleys in it. No, blurtleys, not slurs.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, I know. What's going to happen tonight?
Is that the same?
Fizz.
Is it the
fizz,
same?
just like the Coke?
Yes, it's going to be bubbly.
Yeah.
What's the? Is the same venue as we played last time?
I don't think
I'm
so.
not sure.
No,
No, it looks like a fresh place.
Okay, no, I don't know then. We don't know what to expect. The whole thing about darkness shows is that they're unpredictable. We don't, we sort of feed off the energy of the crowd really, and so because of that, the shows that we expect to be amazing are usually sort of slightly disappointing for us, but obviously because our bar is so high that everyone else in the room thinks we're utterly brilliant.
Well,
but,
you are actually.
And sometimes we kind of feel like, oh dear, I'm a bit worried about this one, and it turns out to be amazing. So we never know what's going to happen really.
Do you guys ever change your set list during a tour?
That's the one thing that we don't improvise. Everything else is improvised. So.
Well, we did add Open Fire the other night in Milan.
Yeah, I think the set's getting longer. We're adding as opposed to swapping. As we gain experience and stamina, we add songs.
What do you actually do backstage before the gig? What's happening? What?
Oh, if you look at our Facebook and our Instagram, you'll see, because I'm starting to film little clips of what goes on.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, exclusive. You won't believe what happened next. Type clickbait kind of stuff,
And then it's just a picture of me painting.
Yeah, Justin paints sometimes.
I do paint. I paint. Nice, we do exercises. We stand around in our pants, just talking.
Make fun of each other.
Yeah, we talk about all kinds of stuff. Really.
In jokes,
Yeah.
Is it business or is it still fun touring?
It's definitely not business. If it was business, we'd be richer and wearing better clothes.
We do a VIP meet and greet beforehand, but that's not business. That's just us.
We've got one person coming to the VIP today. They're going to be a VVVIP.
Yeah, that's because I get in for free.
Is that you? You better get your questions. Oh, you've already asked a load of questions. Yeah, we do like a Q&A meet and greet type thing. So we all dress up nice for that. Obviously sound check is an important part of it. And then invariably the sound on stage bears no resemblance to the sound that we've assembled in the sound check. It's just seat of your pants stuff. I think it's definitely not business because it's at this level it's so unpredictable, and every show you do is different because the venue is like if you play arenas, then there's always the same sort of shaped box, and the sound's always the same, and the crowd's always the same. It's just I reckon that's more like a business then.
When you go on a club tour like this and you see different reactions from if you're in Italy. So you would actually know from the reaction of the audience, oh, we must be in Italy, or compared to you're in Germany now. I don't know. Is there?
Oh yeah, you definitely can. Yeah.
Well, there's much bigger crowds in Italy than in Germany.
We're quite popular in Italy, strangely.
It's operatic nature.
I wouldn't say how come, but how come you're not as popular in Germany? That's
who knows. It's hard to tell. It's not for us to analyse. It's not good for us as a band to analyse. Our job is.
I've never known. We've never been able to work it out. We've always thought that it's an important territory for us, and we'd love to be successful here, but it never really caught fire, did it?
People seem to think we're gay. Not that it would matter if we were, and perhaps we're not macho enough for the German taste. I'm not sure. And also we're very contrary. We're full of contradictions.
I think German people like gay stuff though.
Juxtapositions.
I mean, I don't think Germany is a homophobic culture.
I wouldn't have thought so either, to be honest, but maybe in the metal areas, I think we're represented as a metal band in Germany, whereas because we all seem to play metal festivals, but in actual fact in the States we're seen more as a rock and roll band.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's getting hungry.
Which
is already thinking about lunch.
Which is funny because sometimes I think that the Germans have a problem getting the joke of the darkness, although there is no joke. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They used to say that about America, but that's not really the case.
I would say that. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is that
perhaps in Germany people compartmentalise things more.
Yeah.
Is that possibly?
Yeah. Well, they're
speculating
like,
here.
Yeah, German. The Germans like AC/DC, because they know there's nothing behind
Yeah.
that, you know. So no different level or anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think there's things that are successful in Germany that wouldn't really work in England. Like, for example, you'd get an arena tour of a load of people in lederhosen singing traditional songs, you know, like 100 people standing on stage singing traditional songs. That would fill arenas. You know what I mean? Whereas that wouldn't work in England. But that surprised me, because that's a sort of slightly... It's more about the theatricality of it and the spectacle than it is obviously the content.
yeah.
Yeah. So it defies logic, because you'd think that the darkness at its strongest would work here. In a big way, you know. But who knows? Maybe it will one day, you know. Maybe if I allow myself to go bald and then just sort of change my appearance slightly, I mean, anything could trigger it, you know.
You are the kind of guy that changes his appearance very often, as far, you know, when I see...
I get bored quite easily.
Yeah, I mean, you see long hair, short hair, beard, no beard. You're like,
Beard, no beard, piercing, tattoos, no tattoos, laser tattoos off, put some more tattoos on, that kind of stuff. I always do that, yeah. It's called an identity crisis.
you can't have one. I mean, if some people have an identity, it's you. You know, here's identity crisis.
But that's what I'm trying to test it, really, because I think I'm trying to sort of see if the identity extends beyond a haircut or a facial hair choice. You know, maybe it does.
Does it?
No, because I mean, it has an advantage that it doesn't, because, you know, in some places in England, for example, I can walk around and nobody knows who I am. They just think I look like a pervert.
You have to walk around in Germany because you have to get the dog out. You have to walk the dog, don't you?
Yeah, she's more famous than I am.
This exactly goes to the core of the problem. You know, being more popular, being less popular. Just assuming you guys would have never had this, you know, gap in between your career with the darkness. You would play, you know, where you started playing with Meatloaf, but you would be the headliner now.
You think so?
Wouldn't you?
It's hard to say.
I think
it's true that sometimes I do regret that we didn't have this kind of thing. You know,
yeah.
You know, the cult band that grows big organically, because, you know, the record company inflate and push things down people's throats, and no one likes that, really. No intelligent person enjoys that. So I do regret that, yeah, to an extent.
There are certain exceptions to that statement, but not in the culturally. No, culturally.
Because I think, you know, you'd be bigger right now. I mean, just to be honest,
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I mean, the thing is that if you have like when it gets to about 10 albums and you've been established for that long, it's very difficult to find a band that's done 10 albums that isn't doing arenas if they're still going. And we'd probably be a bit closer to that now. So I think just in terms of momentum and the sort of the gathering of enthusiasts that naturally occurs when you have that much output, I think you're probably right.
But then again, it wouldn't be the same band, because Schizophrenia and the like I said before, the contradictions and the seesaw. You know, the seesaw of our career makes us interesting, and it feeds into the songs as well.
I think it's far more fun to be on a roller coaster than on the teacups.
Yeah, exactly.
It's much more interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, Aerosmith had the same thing, didn't they? I mean, you know, they had an amazing collaboration which sparked a brilliant comeback in the late 80s, mid to late 80s.
But that was luck, I guess, mostly.
Yeah,
Nobody could have foreseen that.
I mean, Steven Tyler and Joe Perry weren't working together for some years.
I think they're still not working together.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that, I suppose. But you know, for them, it made their story far more interesting than, say, the story of Coldplay or U2.
There's no story.
Yeah,
no,
you know what I mean, though, like the narrative or the arc, you know, and also like with us, I think because sorry, Frankie, the inflation element that Frank was talking about meant that our first album was like that, so it would never be like this. It would always be. Well,
it's a curse of the first go successful,
and then it just dies, and then for a long time we just go along the bottom, and then.
Or just you're not like Uriah Heep, you know, or something. You know, still, you know. The last of our kind. Are you really?
No, well, you don't take things literally. It comes
I think
when it comes to
I think a
titles.
more accurate title would have been Best of Our Kind.
There you go. Got a title for the follow-up.
Yeah.
Is it hard to sing Bavarian at the very beginning of the show?
Only because I have a tendency to come in sharp on the verses because I'm excited and the blood's up and you're running about, and then you sort of have to sing a bit sharp. The chorus is no problem.
Okay.
It's not actually that high for me, you know. In fact, I actually prefer putting Black Shuck at the beginning of the set because I can come in fairly on it. You know what I mean? And then I like a song that I really have to scream at the beginning because it gets me going for the rest of the set. So Barbarian is not too bad. It's not difficult. It's just it's difficult to sort of restrain myself to be able to put in the slightly reserved verses.
All right. The chemistry with Rufus is it just clicked from the very beginning on stage as well, I guess.
Yeah, he's a proper performer and he's quite happy to get out from behind the kit and do other stuff. He's got an amazing singing voice as well. So we're going to try and utilise that on future songs. You know?
Yeah, I only saw him drumming with, you know, the Tie Your Mother Down and whatever you have.
Yeah, but he sings close harmony. He's got a great range and he's very talented. He plays keyboards as well. So.
Oh, okay. So
I'm not sure how we would do all those things at the same time, but we'll find a way.
Where do you have your dog when you aren't on stage?
She usually goes in the dressing room if it's not too loud, guarding my valuables.
Okay. They're good watchdog. You gonna play any festivals in the summer?
Hope so. There's we're waiting for permission to announce things.
Okay.
We're locked in talks with lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And we want to have a busy summer.
Yeah. Just touring basically, or do you have any other projects?
Well, next album or next EP or whatever, next bunch of songs, we're going to write some stuff and play at festivals and hopefully get it out. We wanted to get it out this year, but I don't know how realistic that is. We'll get it recorded this year.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's always a long sort of what do they call it? Lead in, lead out.
Yeah.
Fold out. They've got an expression for it in the music trade, but it takes a long time to do all the other stuff that you need to do before something is released.
So basically, is there a chance, or is it? I don't know if you ever did that, but is the chance? Did the chance get higher to go on tour with Queen?
I'm not sure.
I literally asked Brian May. I literally asked him.
Would have done the same.
Yeah, I just said, if you ever need a support band, and then he was like,
Oh, come on! No.
Yeah, I don't think they need a support band. The tickets are going to go, aren't they? They don't need.
He would have taken Bad News with him in times like, you know, back then, I guess. So, you know. I'm not sure whether it's improved or hindered our chances of doing that, really, but. It's certainly something we'd love to be involved in, and we've literally asked now, so who knows, fingers crossed. Okay, good. I have almost no further questions. There's one question that there's two questions actually that I just personally like to know. In times like this, you started off, you know, with the first record, the early 2000s. Is it, when you have a new record out, is it, apart from the artistic fact, is it still rewarding to have a record out? Like in whatever ways you want to see.
It's a good question actually, because I think I used to be really, really excited about a release. Yeah. And I used to sort of pore longingly over the artwork and things like that. And I have to admit that I don't do that so much now. I mean, I do care about it, but it definitely doesn't have the same resonance as it used to have 13 years ago. What we're proud of is the songwriting, but you think less about the actual hard copy release in an age when you have to sort of anticipate that hardly anybody will actually buy an object. Yeah, you know. Exactly. So, I mean, you know, you can, if you're lucky, you'll get a lot of people streaming the stuff. So you take great pride in the crafting of the songs and the recording and everything. But I used to really, really love getting involved in the art side of it. Not so much now. I mean the visual art side.
It can be a question of age too. Because
I mean, we used to sort of get into conversations about like the quality of paper in the booklet.
Yeah,
even
yeah.
you know, and like how it feels to you know, we'd really care about.
I totally understand that. So yeah, it's amazing.
But it's sort of there are people in the organisation that really do care about that, like Phyllis, who helps us out, has really taken it upon herself to explore those things on our behalf, because it's sort of it's not something that we're that. I mean, is it? Do you feel the same, or is it kind of?
I mean, I actually do like the colors you've chosen for the vinyl pressings.
Yeah,
I like the green, and I like the kind of marble brownish with the hotcakes record. I thought it was tasteful.
Yes.
Yeah.
But somebody made up his mind about it, I guess.
Well, we had a lot of different
we did.
options.
Yeah,
we were given lots of options for that, and the most important thing is it's heavy enough to sound good. You know, with those materials, some of those coloured vinyls can be quite flimsy, and you know, they don't feel or sound as good. But at that weight, you have maybe 10 or 11 options, and that was the one that complemented the artwork, I think.
All right. There's one more thing though. There's no sex and drugs and alcohol anymore backstage, or
at our age,
the vicinity of the darkness.
With our
general.
reputation.
Yeah, there is some. Yeah.
Yeah, right, all around. No, I mean, it varies from town to town.
I'm not going to talk about it. If you talk about stuff like that, you just come across as very boorish.
Vulgar.
Yeah, I guess it's fair to say.
Wow.
So we don't talk about it. It's private.
I think that in most organisations, it's usually the techs. It's usually roadies. They're far worse than the band, in my experience. We've got a job to do. I've got to keep my voice in check, you know. Can't be screaming at the top of my lungs, locked in the throes of passion, with an innocent, surrounded by trays full of white powder. Can't be doing that. I have to bring pleasure to the masses. It's my duty. Plus, I've got to walk the dog at 6 in the morning. No way.
That's it. Thanks very much for coming.
Thanks.
And this dog is just amazingly quiet when it has to be that.
Yes.
Quiet. No, she didn't even.
You gotta do it louder. Oh my, look. He's asleep.
Rockantenne. 100% Rock. Nonstop.
Das war unser Interview mit The Darkness, und wenn euch das Interview gefallen hat, dann liked es auf alle Fälle, das ist schon mal super, und wenn ihr immer über die neuesten Interviews gleich informiert sein wollt, ohne dass ihr groß nachschauen müsst, dann abonniert bitte unseren Rockantenne YouTube-Channel und ihr seid immer up to date. Wie war das andere mit dem Blödsinn?
Und jetzt musst du noch sagen, und wenn ihr noch mehr Interviews sehen wollt, klickt hier.
Also, genau.
Und wenn ihr Lieder lernen wollt, wie man sie spielt, klickt da für die School of Rocks.
Okay. Wenn ihr noch mehr Interviews sehen wollt, dann klickt bitte hier.
Nee, so, weil das Video ist neben mir am Kopf. Ja.
Okay, gut. Wenn ihr noch mehr Interviews sehen wollt, dann klickt bitte hier. Und wenn ihr wissen wollt, wie man die größten Hits auf die Gitarre nachbrabbelt, dann klickt hier auf unsere School of Rock.